Think I'm fame hungry? After 5 years in a private school that really pushed their students to the limits, I decided to give education a break and become a courier. I enjoyed being my own boss. Gig economy apps were booming and the pay was great. I found my inner peace on two wheels, either listening to music or the radio whilst I glide through the streets.
I'll be good at it. And right, I got my gun, semi-automatic. Yeah.
I had found my passion. Status or fame was not something I was seeking. Then disaster strikes. Moped crime is on a rise, and I had my bike stolen. I was pissed off and in debt. I no longer had two wheels to deliver food and parcels on, and to make matters worse, my scooter was on finance, and still the payments were expected by the end of the month. Insurance companies know the likelihood of your motorcycle being stolen is high. They work with statistics and can see the problem getting worse from their screens. It's almost impossible to get fully comp these days, especially if you're a teenager. I was 19 at the time. This wasn't a case of me being stupid and not getting the right protection. This was a case of me covering my ass on everything and still getting f***ed over. I'm not one to hold a grudge, but for these thieving scumbags, I did. That's why I do what I do. My main motivation, if I'm honest, is when I see courier bikes, easy to rob PCXs and NMAXs. In my eyes, I don't just see two wheels, I see someone's job. A father, a brother, an uncle, all trying to make their way in life by doing an honest day's job in the coldest of weathers. Yeah, having subscribers is nice, and getting views is great. I've always had an interest in editing. But still, I've never been one to force things, and my passion for two wheels was under threat. I started exposing thieves, and was stupid enough to not stay anonymous. At the time, I underestimated the threat of moped thieves in terms of networking. I thought they were a bunch of isolated gangs working in different areas. I could expose one in one area and move on to the next. Well, that was the plan. The more I exposed, the more I realized they were all connected, and any teen with a phone and Instagram could live feed my location to anyone at any time. Feeling vulnerable, yet confident in my determination, I tackled each problem as it came. I was but a lone wolf, with a growing subscriber count. A group called Biker took notice of my efforts and extended a hand of friendship to me in my hour of isolation. Now there is a reason I'm getting a record straight here, so please bear with me. Everyone assumes Biker gave me a platform and that I'm in their debt, but the facts state otherwise. For those that are shallow enough to care, I had 40,000 subscribers when officially putting it all on the line for Biker. They had 4,000. They have been running for several years. I have been running for one. This is not a competition, and it's a shame I even need to defend myself against such speculation. Nobody but YouTube gave me a platform to express my story against bike crime. If anything, my videos and traffic brought 10,000 unique viewers to Biker over the period of time I was in there. That's a 250% increase in 2 months of hand-mouth media, compared to 7 years of theirs. I set up articles, I set up radio appearances, which mentioned them in name and brought them to light. I don't ask for thanks or anything in return. We are all fighting the same battle against those that wish to steal from us. Why the pettiness? Why the glory hunting? All will become clear. It's because after being in the group for a month, I started to see their true colours.
Okay, so I feel I really have to do this just because I've got to share my experience with this group that's starting to get around a bit.
This lady, who won't be named, was kicked from the group due to a personal vendetta against her through one of the founders of Biker. Once she was kicked without warning from the group, despite investing in it, false rumours were spread throughout the group, claiming she tried it on with Shane, the founder of Biker, because she dared to call him Hun. Watch here.
I wrote Hun to one of the people's in charge's partner. It was just a lazy text, there was nothing involved in it. And I got accused of wanting to sleep with her partner. And anyone that knows me or will know that this isn't the case. And that it was just a lazy text.
Now, despite telling you guys the facts, it's important to note that I would not put any of Biker Group in danger by divulging the truth. Those that have remained anonymous will be kept anonymous, and those like Shane who are happy and conscious about being the face of Biker will be named as such. Disclaimer over. Evil only flourishes when good men do nothing. The bullying of a former member was something I sat idle to. I voiced my opinion at the time that I'd like the member to be added back, but those requests were dismissed. The group was run from the top down. Nobody had any real influence except those that were posting for donations. The founders. Now, for someone who's not afraid of authority or stepping up, I am disappointed in myself for letting that one slip. But mentally, I had a lot of enemies, and having a group such as Biker to have my back was something that brought me peace of mind. But no amount of peace of mind could change the way I felt about this. 13th of December 2018. A patrol was planned for the night. Shane publicly announces the patrol beforehand and then delivers it to an audience that are both supportive and financially generous in the form of donations. One of Biker's members crashed on the way home. For a leader that's supposedly hellbent on preventing motorcycle crime, he superstitiously brands their accident as the omen and calls off the patrol privately. Publicly, I was shocked to see that the patrol still went ahead. Yes, the founder of Biker geared up and went patrolling in a local park alone, whilst telling viewers who support him financially that he was out on a patrol. You couldn't make these stories up. Look here at the screenshots. To add insult to injury, a week before I left, I came to learn that donation money was lent to another member from the funds of this person who donated just under £500. This money was lent to a member of Biker to go towards buying Christmas gifts. The member had spent all their money on an upcoming holiday. Despite all these flaws, I still live quietly and move on, and dissociate myself from the hostile and bitter group. Finally, despite all I put up with, I still decided that exposing them was not worth my time. I felt like the public would soon see through the lies and abuse. Me and the two founders of Reaper Revenge kickstarted it all, whilst learning from the mistakes of the previous group. We got a phone call from the police that they have found 5 stolen bikes. We were yet to set up a recovery van. These things take time, and we are still only 2 weeks in. The job was forwarded to Knight's Recovery. I prefer it to go to them than have the stolen bike stay on the streets to the thieves. Now I go over to take pictures of the Reaper Revenge bike, as I do when they're confiscated off the thieves. To my surprise, instead of being grateful for publicly endorsing Knight's Recovery, Biker bites back and posts this.
Hammuff's here and I don't know why he's here, but he's taking pictures. I haven't got a clue because he's not with us anymore. I don't know how he got the details of where we were, but anyway, that's besides the point.
I will continue to expose thieves, despite whether I have the support of Biker or not. I didn't even know they existed until they made contact. I'm only 23 years old, and I learn lessons every day. This lesson was a hard-learned one for me.